Lindsay here, and welcome to another episode of My 5 Favorite, the show where I talk about my 5 favorite movie-related things. I don't necessarily think they are the best things, but they are my favorite and they are subject to change on a weekly basis. And on today's episode, we are going to be talking all about my 5 favorite films from 1987. (1987). Once again, another incredibly hard year to narrow down to 5 favorite films plus 6 honorable mentions. This time I couldn't help myself. I had to have 6 because I could not choose between 2 films. So I just said, fuck it, we're gonna do 6 again. We've got action, we've got sci-fi, we have romance, and we got horror. So let's get into it. Number 5. Number 5 is a comedy. I think one of the biggest reasons that I love this film so much is because it's set in Chicago, and we used to go to Chicago a lot when I was a kid. And so I recognized a lot of the locations. I was like, oh, we've been there, I've seen that, and all this. But it's very, very funny. It stars Elizabeth Shue, and she's just adorable. Yes, I'm talking all about Adventures in Babysitting.
Don't fuck with the Lords of Hell.
Yeah! Don't fuck with the babysitter.
I love Adventures in Babysitting. It's such a funny story. And it's got a little twisted sense of humor to it at times, a little more adult sense of humor at times.
Chris, I'm begging you, it's really scary here. I've just seen 3 people shoot up, a bald Chinese lady with no pants on, and there's this old guy outside who wants his bedroom slippers.
Get out of my house!
You just moved!
But Elizabeth Shue is great, and she does such a good job in this film. She's very, very funny, and just this this high school babysitter trying to brave the mean streets of Chicago with 3 kids in tow. It's so funny to watch and see them get into and out of trouble. And you have Vincent D'Onofrio as Thor. Come on. One of my favorite scenes is when they're trying to get away from the gangsters, and they end up going through the blues club, and they can't leave without singing the blues, so they have to sing a song before they can leave.
Nobody gets out of this place without singing the blues.
For some stupid reason, they make them sing. It's just really silly and dumb, and I just love it.
Some guys are out to get us.
And Brenda's probably dead. We ain't got a nickel. And they should be in bed, and you out of luck.
And for those reasons and many more is why Adventures in Babysitting is my number 5 favorite film from 1987.
Adventures in Babysitting.
Think your parents will ever ask me to babysit again?
If they do, I'd ask them for $1 more an hour.
Number 4. Number 4 is a favorite film of many, many, many people. A lot of people just love this film to death, and I do too. It has great characters, wonderful actors in it. It's a very sweet story, and it's done very well. Yes, I'm talking all about The Princess Bride.
Marriage. Marriage is what brings us together today.
The Princess Bride it's so comforting to put on when you're feeling in a shitty mood, because it's funny, it's sweet, it's romantic, it's got Fred Savage. Cary Elwes, oh my god, I had such a crush on him from this movie.
Can you move at all?
Move? You're alive. If you want, I can fly.
Robin Wright, Wallace Shawn, Mandy Patinkin, Andre the Giant.
Hello, lady.
It's so well done. I love The Princess Bride.
Never go in against a Sicilian when death is on the line.
And along with being this very sweet, romantic, epic fairy tale, it's hilarious. It is so, so funny. One of my favorite parts is when they go to see Miracle Max, played by Billy Crystal. Just him and his wife and their whole dynamic. It's just hilarious, and it's so silly. I love it.
Are you the Miracle Max who worked for the king all those years?
The king's stinking son fired me, and thank you so much for bringing up such a painful subject. While you're at it, why don't you give me a nice paper cut and pour lemon juice on it? We're closed!
So for those reasons and many more is why The Princess Bride is my number 4 favorite film from 1987.
Fuzzy, are there rocks ahead?
If they are, we all be dead.
No more rhymes now, I mean it!
Anybody want a peanut?
Number 3. Number 3 is one of my favorite horror movies of all time. I've always been drawn to it because there's so many layers to this story. It's not just a straight, like, cosmic style horror film. It's got so many other things going on. It's a family drama. It's a serial killer story. So much stuff. Yes, I'm talking all about Clive Barker's Hellraiser.
We'll tear your soul apart.
Hellraiser is so goddamn good. It's visually stunning. The practical effects that they use are just icky as hell. You've got Julia, who is the biggest ride or die bitch ever. She will do whatever she needs to for her man, even kill people.
Did you lock this?
And have sex with a guy in a skin suit.
Come to daddy.
You got Pinhead and the other Cenobites. And several times I've professed online my sexual attraction to the Chatterer. I'm not a huge fan of the sequels. I've seen a couple of them. I have not seen all of them, but this first film I really, really appreciate for what it is. Of course, based on his novel The Hellbound Heart. And if you guys haven't read Clive Barker's books, you should. They're really, really good. He's a very talented author and artist. He did a kid series called Aberrat with some really cool artwork in it. If you haven't checked out those books, you should. They're very interesting. But for those reasons and many more is why Hellraiser is my number 3 favorite film from 1987.
Hellraiser, a film by Clive Barker.
Number 2. All right, it's time for some action. Yes, my number 2 film is based on a Stephen King novella. Stars Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yes, I'm talking all about The Running Man.
It's time to start running!
The Running Man is great. It's action, it's sci-fi, it's social satire. You have these wonderful over-the-top characters. You've got the stalkers, Dynamo, Buzzsaw, Sub-Zero, now Plane Zero.
Here is Sub-Zero. Now, Plane Zero.
So many great Arnold one-liners. It's such a good movie. Great, great movie. I still remember the satellite uplink code 1717. 182461B 17174. I think that's what it is.
Say them.
182461B. Can we go now?
Not yet.
Not yet. What do you mean not yet?
17.
For some reason, I've memorized that. I don't know why. I don't think it'll ever come in handy. Just another bit of useless trivia that is stuck in my head.
control your jealousy and leave your message.
And it's got such a great sense of humor to it too. Like when they have someone in the audience pick the stalker to go after them, and they get all these prizes, and one of them is the Running Man home game. It's like, yeah, what is the home game like? I need to play that. What does that entail?
An ICF home video. And the Running Man home version right
But there's so much great shit in The Running Man. It's one of my favorite Arnold movies. It's so good. I love watching it.
The saw's part of me, and I'm gonna make it part of you.
And for those reasons and many, many more is why it is my number 2 favorite film from 1987. Number 1. Man, 1987 was a banner year for Schwarzenegger. He had my number 2 favorite film, and he's also got the number 1 spot. Yes, I'm talking all about Predator.
Dylan! You son of a bitch.
God damn, Predator's such a good movie. I love Predator 2 also, not as much as I like the first one, but I think people shit on the second one a little too much, especially with some of the other sequels that have come out since then. 2 ain't that bad. It's actually pretty good. You should go give it a rewatch if you haven't seen it in a while. But we're talking about the first Predator. So good. Directed by John McTiernan, who knows how to direct a fucking action film. And you've got a great cast of characters. Not only do you have Arnold, you've got Sonny Ladman, you've got Bill Duke, you've got Jesse Ventura.
You're hit. You're bleeding, man. I ain't got time to bleed.
And the one-liners in this film are endless.
Stick around.
I mean, if fucking machismo was a movie, this is it. When they do that first raid on the guerrilla encampment, it's just awesome. They just go in, guns blazing, one-liners here and there, firepower, explosions, throwing knives, just straight up fucking killing people. It's great. And this also has a connection to another Arnold film, Commando, because this is taking place in the fictional country of Valverde, which they discuss in Commando. That's where he needs to go to perform this assassination attempt to get his daughter back. But the special effects are great in this. The fucking character design of the Predator is iconic.
You're one ugly motherfucker.
I mean, you look at the screenshots and test footage of the original creature design when Jean-Claude Van Damme was the creature, and you're just like, wow, it's a good thing that that they scrapped that.
I just remember standing there and looking across through the trees, and there's this giant red thing coming like this, like just exactly what we had not been trying not to have.
And Stan Winston, and I think even James Cameron had little fingerprints on some of the character design. I think he suggested the mandible mouth. But you have some great sequences in this film, especially the end battle between the Predator and Arnie. Get to the chopper!
Get to the chopper!
Awesome sci-fi, awesome action, and some really great gore in this movie. Oh, and Carl Weathers. Shit, I forgot about him. I don't know what the beef is between Stallone and Carl Weathers, if it still exists, but I still don't know why Carl Weathers was never in any of the Expendables movies. Because, I mean, he was in shit with both Arnie and Stallone. You'd think he'd be an obvious choice to be in those films. But I don't know. Anyways, Predator. Fucking amazing. And for tons and tons of reasons, it is my #1 favorite film from 1987. Now is the time where we talk about our honorable mentions, but first, these messages.
Kick off your holiday shopping. 8 a.m. this Friday and Saturday at Sears. You'll find fashions galore.
Half price!
For the whole family. Like these plaid flannel shirts for men.
Half price!
Just $6.49. For mom, classic crew necks in a variety of colors.
Half price!
Only $6.99. For these little girls, Winnie the Pooh Pinafore dresses.
Half price!
Only $14.99. Score savings like these and more this Friday and Saturday.
This month for your life!
Starting 8 a.m.
At Sears!
Sam Jones is the highwayman.
And I want you.
Jacko is Jimmo.
Aye!
Together,
We're assault.
And battery!
two guys out to energize your Friday.
What's up?
Heading your way this Friday, the highwayman.
She's today's woman. Busy, confident, in control of her life.
Including my weight, thanks to Dexatrim.
Caffeine-free Dexatrim caplets contain the non-prescription appetite control ingredient doctors recommend most.
I lose weight because I'm not hungry, and Dexatrim's caffeine-free. I feel good about that.
Just one caplet works from morning to midnight, during meals and in between.
I don't feel hungry all day, and the weight comes off.
You can lose weight, feel great with today's caffeine-free Dexatrim caplets.
Yes, we've got 6 honorable mentions because I'm indecisive, so let's get into those. First, we have Stanley Kubrick's Full Metal Jacket.
Who's the slimy little communist shit-twinkle-toed cocksucker down here who just signed his own death warrant?
R. Lee Ermey, you can't fucking beat it. He was born to play that role.
Private Joker, I admire your honesty. Hell, I like you. You can come over to my house and fuck my sister.
And the story behind how he got that role is pretty interesting. I won't go into it here, but it's online everywhere, how he snagged that role. And Vincent D'Onofrio is great as Pyle. But it's just a very bleak look at becoming a soldier, becoming a Marine, and how it can change people, and how war changes people. It's very good. Dirty Dancing.
I carried a watermelon.
I think a lot of people just write it off as some romantic comedy, but it deals with some very heavy subject matter. It talks about classism and women's rights, all sorts of shit. And Patrick Swayze is just handsome and adorable and amazing. And his chemistry with Jennifer Grey, even though they hated each other in real life at the time, their chemistry is really, 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 really pops on screen. Spaceballs! While it is not my favorite Mel Brooks film, it is still very, very funny. It pokes a lot of fun at the Star Wars tropes.
I am your father's brother's nephew's cousin's former roommate.
The humor is so silly and stupid, but it makes me laugh so much. You got John Candy as Barf.
I'm a Mog. Half man, half dog. I'm my own best friend.
You've got Rick Moranis as Helmet.
Oh, your helmet is so big.
Lord Helmet, what?
It's really good.
See, your Schwartz is as big as mine.
Fatal Attraction. Yes, an adult thriller. Michael Douglas, Glenn Close. I'm not going to be ignored, Daniel.
Oh, this is the way you do it, huh? Showing up at my apartment?
What am I supposed to do? You won't answer my calls. You changed your number. I mean, I'm not going to be ignored, Dan.
She's a psycho bitch.
You weren't so stupid, you'd know that, but you're so stupid. You're just so stupid. You're a stupid, selfish bitch.
But this film is very well written. It's acted very, very well. Glenn Close is terrifying. If you have not seen Fatal Attraction, I highly, highly recommend it. It's very good. RoboCop, Paul Verhoeven, social satire, amazing.
Your move, creep.
The gore and violence in this film is next level. I'd buy that for $1.
I'd buy that for $1.
And last but certainly not least, we have Nightmare on Elm Street 3, The Dream Warriors.
Welcome to prime time, bitch.
This is my favorite Freddy film. I think, I don't know, sometimes I go back and forth between this and The Dream Child. I don't know why I like The Dream Child so much. I just love the character of Alice. But in this one, we have pretty much horror X-Men going on, and also Heather Langenkamp reprises her role as Nancy. We get some really, really fun sequences.
You should listen to your mother.
God damn it, Kristen, you ruin everything. Every time I bring a man home, you spoil it.
I love Tara. In my dreams, I'm beautiful and bad. It's so great.
In my dreams, I'm beautiful and bad.
But that is going to do it for my 5 favorite films from 1987, plus 6 honorable mentions. If you have a favorite film from 1987, or 5, or 15, or 20, or however many, please put it below in the comments. I would love to hear what they are. But that is going to do it for this video. So until next time, this is Lindsay signing off. I'll check you later.